What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Austin Show. Today we're looking at the new McFarlane DC Multiverse, the Batman wave. So these are figures from the new Batman movie, which at this time I have not been able to see, but by the time this comes out, it will be up on HBO Max. So hopefully I'll have seen it by then. But these figures look really cool, of course, with that realistic look from the Batman movie. So we have Batman, the Robert Pattinson version of Batman, which looks cool. And then we also have Selena Kyle Catwoman, which looks pretty cool. I don't hate her outfit, but I don't really like it too much either. It just looks a little bit too weird for me. But then we get the two cool villain characters of the Penguin and the Riddler, which both look really cool. Of course, this Colin Farrell version of the Penguin looks nothing like him, and then the Riddler, doesn't look like normal Riddler, but that's just how they designed him for the movie and stuff, but very creepy with that serial killer type design stuff. But all four of these figures look really cool, and we have some extra stuff thrown here like the Bat Cycles and everything that we'll look at as well. But I'm just excited mostly just to see this Batman movie, but I'm excited to check these figures out as well, so let me get them open and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start off with Batman here, and I think they did a really good job on this. I think it looks really good. Now, of course, for me, as I said, I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know all if it's exact or not. Just from what I've seen in pictures and everything, I think it looks pretty good. And I think they got the likeness really good as well. Since, he does have a cowled face, so you don't really get to see all the face of Robert Pattinson, but I think it looks like the pictures, just like with his mouth design, everything I see, and with the eyes there, the little eyes that you do see, I think they do pull off the look of Robert Pattinson, so I think they did a really good job there. But it just looks awesome with the cowl up on his head, of course, with the 2-point ears. We have the cape coming down his back, so they're in the all black, and I like how it just got the few little points cut out. And then he's got the bat logo on his chest. He's got some armor there up on his shoulder. Since this is like a year two of him, his armor is not complete or anything, so he does have some shoulder pads and stuff there. So he has some cheaper armor in some spots, but I like the shoulder pad design there. Then he's got some gauntlets with what look to be like arrows or something there, but still have of course the classic Batman spikes, utility belt full of all different gadgets and everything, and then the all black outfit, of course, probably with some Kevlar for making bulletproof and all that. And then of course designs going down his legs. I like the leather designs and the different textures going in there. He's got some knee pads and then some tall leather boots there to cover up his legs. So overall, I think he looks really cool. This is an awesome looking Batman figure just in general, let alone looking like the movie and everything. So it's just a really nice looking figure. But let's go and do movements. So the head can twist all the way around there. It can look down just about that far and up about that far. So not much movement in the neck at all. For the shoulders, they come up to 90 degrees, and there is this shoulder pad piece here. It does get out of the way, but because of the cape, it just kind of bunches up there, and it also doesn't allow the shoulder to go up fully to 90 degrees, so just about that far, a little bit under there, unfortunately, but it can twist around, and it has a little bit of that butterfly style joint there. But then we have a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that can bend up that far, and then we get the wrist that can twist around and flex on the ball joint. We have the ab crunch in the middle there, so crunch forward, crunch back, so again, very little crunching, but can twist side to side there. And then we may have lower crunching down, yeah, it looks like maybe a little bit down towards the waist. But then we get the hips that can come up under 90 there, so just about that far out to the side a little bit. A little thigh twist there as well. Then we get the double knee joint that can bend up in the back. He can kick his own butt, so that's really good. And then we get the foot on the ball joint that can rock back and forth a little bit there and twist side to side, and then has the toe joint on the end. So overall, I would say it's a McFarlane once again, so it looks really good. Like I said, it looks amazing. Just a lot of the movements are kind of having issues. Not the best overall articulation for a figure, but I think they executed the look really well. And of course, with the new McFarlanes, they do have the side eye, so he's looking over in this direction. So if you want him looking straight on, you have to kind of get him posed around there. So he's kind of twisted to the side a little bit, but I don't think it's too bad. Now for accessories, of course, he comes with the base plate, so he is standing up all by itself. A little bit of issues, but not enough to where I need it, but we'll go and pop him on. And he also comes with a grappling gun, so his little gun that he has. So it's a much smaller version than Batman guns we've gotten in the past, but it does look pretty cool, just still there all in the black. Now it has a peg here on the back because you stick into his hand, so if you saw when doing the movements, he does have this flat palm hand, and there is a hole in there. Again, it's going to be hard to see, but there's a hole there, so you can peg the grappling gun into there. So let's pop it in. So there's the grappling gun just in his hand there. So he doesn't really hold it, it's just kind of sticking there in his hand, but I like that it has the peg because it's obviously not going to fall out or anything. So that's cool, so you can have him shooting the grappling gun and stuff like that. So that's actually pretty cool and nice design and feature. Like I said, doesn't look the greatest because he's not holding on to it or anything, but since it can actually hold it and stuff and not fall off, I think is pretty cool. And I did want to show off, we also got the Batmobile for this, so the Batmobile from the movie. So it looks pretty cool, not very Batman-like and stuff, just has a little bit with, the Batman cowl design there. So there's a light in the front and then it's all black and everything, but it looks pretty cool. It's a nice motorcycle overall, and I like that it comes with this base plate piece that you clip onto the tires there, so it helps keep it standing up at all time. But with issues I've already had before, there's probably no way I'm going to be able to get him on the motorcycle or like to be able to look anywhere decent on it or anything. But it does also come with a grip hand here for the right side. Since the figure itself came with the weird right hand to hold the gun and stuff, just a flat palm hand, the motorcycle did also come with an additional grip hand. So if you did get the motorcycle and worried you wouldn't be able to hold on to the handle, it does come with that additional one that we just have clipped on there. But that overall looks pretty cool. And additionally, I also want to show we also got the drifter motorcycle as well. So this one just looks like your normal, like sort of classic style motorcycle. So nothing too fancy or anything here. Just like I said, more like a classic style motorcycle built in the exact same design. So that looks pretty cool, you know, much more realistic and everything. So that is awesome there. And then of course to go along with that, we also got the drifter Batman. So I guess the more street clothes version or the Bruce Wayne version, he still has a mask like covering his face and then the dark around his eyes, you know, from being the Batman and stuff. So hair's a little messed up and everything there, but it looks pretty cool. But I think we're just going to use this as like some like Gotham like criminal or whatever, you know, not Batman or anything, since he doesn't really have any Batman related stuff, just the similar sort of looks there. But overall pretty cool figure. And then we also have the motorcycle helmet as well that came with the bike, so you can pop his head off and put this on if you wanted to. But I just wanted to show it off, the different versions of Bruce Wayne's and the motorcycles that they made with it. So pretty cool overall. But of course the Batman is just the coolest figure out of all these, and I definitely like it the most. And finally we have the card here for Batman. So there's a nice picture. It is like a figure version of it, so that's pretty cool. And I like the design stuff they did like from the movie, so that's awesome. So around the back, of course, we know his real name is Bruce Wayne. It says the Batman is 2 years into his role as Gotham's embodiment of vengeance, a nocturnal vigilante who strikes fear in the hearts of criminals. A reclusive scion of Gotham's richest family, questioning his family's legacy, the world's greatest detective stalks the streets at nights, employing a lethal combination of mental mastery, physical strength, and expert technology on his journey to becoming the city's symbol of hope. So there we got a little explanation there, you know, more from the movie and everything for this version of Batman and stuff. So pretty nice figure just overall. Like I said, I really like the look and design. I just wish the figure was executed a little bit better, but it's awesome that Batman and then the Bat Cycle and stuff to go with there. So very awesome figure just overall. And next up we have Catwoman, real name Selena Kyle, played by Zoe Kravitz. And this is the version of Catwoman we chose because we didn't like the unmasked version that well. But of course I still don't like this version either. I don't know if hopefully when I see the movie I'll think it looks much better. But just in like figure form here, I do not like this figure at all. Just the way it looks. I like it more just because it has like a little cat ear design, so it makes it feel, you know, much more like Catwoman and everything. But just having like the balaclava mask that just, you know, covers everything except for her eyes doesn't look that good with the rest of her suit that I assume is mostly a leather, but of course with this material it's hard to tell exactly, but just with the textures and everything they put into it, that would be my guess. But she has the all black suit covered from head to toe, so the only thing you really see of her is her eyes there, which look pretty good. Of course I don't really know Zoe Kravitz that much. I've seen her in some things but not enough to like really recognize her, so I don't know how well those look to her eyes like the Robert Pattinson ones do. But overall, you know, it just looks pretty decent. It has a little weird like V shape there right on her crotch, and then a nice skinny belt, so she's got that hourglass shape and everything. So not the best overall high heel design, of course with a flat base at least. So thankfully I am able to get her to stand up, but just overall execution stuff, this look does not look very well to me. But for movements, we got the head that can twist all the way around. She can look down that far and up that far, so maybe a little bit better than Batman, but still not that good. The shoulders can come up 90 degrees, of course have that like butterfly joint there, and rotate around. We get a bicep twist and then a double elbow joint as well, so that's good. So bends all the way up there, and then the wrist of course twist around. And I forgot on this one, our right hand, the like ball piece keeps breaking apart, so anytime you try to twist it, it just breaks apart instead. So unfortunately we can't really do any movements with that hand, but I think we have some extra figures and stuff. We're going to switch the pieces out. But then we have our ab crunch right under your chest, so crunch forward, crunch back. Again, not much crunching there, but twist all the way around. And then the lower crunch there, like behind the belt, so crunch back and forth there a little bit more. Then the hips can come up about 90 degrees there, out to the side. Very little thigh twist there. A double knee joint that bends up that far, again, can kick her own butt. Foot flexes back and forth on the ball joint, and of course twist around. And then we have the toe joint on the end. So like I said, not the best execution of a figure overall, but at least I am able to like get her to stand up and everything. So I guess that goes for what it's worth. And of course she comes with a place we can stand her on if we need to. And for Catwoman, she also comes with her whip, which looks pretty cool. It's a nice design. So we got the handle there, and then just the all black segmented design there to the little like whip pieces at the end of it. So that's pretty cool. So let's go and stick this in her hand. So there I got the whip in her hand. So that looks pretty cool there. And finally we have her card. So there's again a nice picture with the figure and stuff. I like how they add additional stuff stuff, so it has like this rope wrapped all around her. Of course, a whip there, but it's all curled up, but it just looks nice, you know, with the background and everything. But on the back, of course, we have real name Selena Kyle. So Selena Kyle is a mysterious figure who is quietly infiltrating Gotham's seedy underbelly to further her own agenda. Her fierce attitude and tenacious agility are the perfect tools to excel as a cat burglar, but hidden underneath an array of identities and the motorcycle leathers is a protective soul who's more at home with city strays than its citizens. So again, another nice explanation there, sort of a Catwoman just in general and also towards the movie. So just like I said, not a horrible figure. I really like it with like the whip and stuff there. It does help with the looks and all that, but just not, like I said, the best execution of a Catwoman to me. I wish she looked a little bit better, but you know, it is just what it is. And next up, we have Penguin, real name Oswald Cobblepot, of course played by Colin Farrell. As I mentioned earlier, it looks incredible with this makeup. Doesn't look like him at all, and from what I've heard people say, you can't really even tell it's him at all throughout the movie, so they just did an amazing job with the makeup. But I like his bigger fat body, so it makes him look very penguishy, and then of course his outfit, so he's got the purple underneath with the black over the top, and is just wearing a black trench coat there with some like dark maybe black pants. It's hard to tell the color, but it could just be like the finish on the pants, but a dark color pants, and then black shoes with some gray coverings over that. So it has a lot of like classic like penguin-y stuff. His like nose is sort of big and pointed, by like how his face is sort of all scarred there as well. So I just like that look. I was always worried, you know, if they didn't go with like the classic look of Penguin with like the top hat and smoking the cigar and everything, that it wouldn't really look like it. But I think they did a good enough job to make it that realistic sort of style, but more penguin-y as well. So I really like the look of this figure. For a figure itself, you know, it's just kind of boring. It just looks like a guy. But for trying to carry off the penguin, you know, in a movie style, I think it looks really cool. So for its movements, the head there can twist a little side to side. Looks like maybe with his big chin, you can't really get too far, especially on the colors. So just a little side to side. Maybe if you force it, yeah, it can force it a little bit more, but still not much. And you can look down that far and up that far. So again, still not good movements, but I think this one now has the best so far. The shoulders can come up 90 degrees, rotate all the way around. Probably, yeah, has that butterfly joint there. There is a bicep twist, but I know it's real stiff on these to get it to twist around. I don't know if it's because of like the outfit design stuff, but you can get it to twist around in there. But then we have the single elbow joint on this one because it's like a bigger, thicker character. We only get a single elbow joint, but we can bend it up there about 90 degrees and has the rotation in there as well. And then the wrist can twist around and flex back and forth on the ball joint. Now I'm sure he has an ab crunch and everything in there, but like with his coat and everything, you don't really get too much. So just a little bit of rocking back and forth, and I'm sure he twists around up there as well. But then we have the legs again, because of the overcoat, it's going to be hard to really get any movements, but his legs can come forward a little bit, out to the side a little bit in there. There's a little bit of thigh twist, and then we get the knee joints, which are again with a bigger character. He's only got a single knee joint, and they're real stiff. It's hard to get him to bend at all. So I'm like able to get that one to bend at least that far. These knees are just so stiff. We even heated them up and everything trying to get him to move, and we got him to move, but they've hardened like back up again. So I can only get it to bend that far, and I'm putting a lot of stress on it. So that kind of stinks, but there is also like a twist in the leg there as well. And then we have the foot that can rock back and forth on the ball joint, twist a little side to side, and has the toe joint on the end. So again, overall with the McFarlane style, not good for movement. So movement wise, this is not a very good figure, but at least with his bigger body and feet and stuff, he stands up really easily. So you can just pose him like that again with that side eye there. But for accessories, it's kind of boring and stuff, but we get some additional hands. So he has two like grip style hands, but we get a fist hand and then a hand of once again with like the gun fingers or whatever, since they don't include actual guns. So this is the closest thing we can actually get, but accessory wise, that's all we really get. Of course, we have the plate as well to pop him on. And finally, we have his card. So there's a picture of him there. Again, I like the background design stuff they did with the figure. There he is with his gun finger hands there. So not very intimidating, but a real name Oswald Cobblepot. It says the Penguin, otherwise known as Oswald Cobblepot, is the proprietor of Gotham's exclusive nightclub hotspot, the Iceberg Lounge. While this shady crook is known for running his mouth, he harbors not so secret designs on running the city's criminal underworld. Of course, we always know he tries to do that and take over and runs the underworld eventually. So very nice look and design and everything there for the Penguin figure. But like I said, I wish the figure itself was better once again. And finally, we have our big villain of the movie, the Riddler, which real name Edward Nashton, and is played by Paul Dano. Of course, we don't really see any sort of looks like that for this figure at all, but he looks pretty cool overall. And as I've sort of mentioned, I haven't seen the movie, but I have heard reviews and know all sorts of stuff, so I know like everything that actually happens. And I think this figure, like knowing what happens, looks pretty cool, and I'll point some stuff out. But overall, I don't like it as much, because back when I was in the Batman like years ago, the Riddler was like my favorite villain. I don't know why, it's just something about about it drawed me to him, and he was my favorite. So seeing him look like this is not very good to me. Like, I just absolutely hate it, but I hope like once I see the movie, I'll just like the character enough that it'll be just fine. But like I said, just going off looks and stuff for Riddler, I don't like this at all. But I do like that they didn't at least incorporate the green, so it's like a darker army green and stuff, but at least it still has some green. But I like how he has some lighter green underneath. I don't know if it's like a sweatshirt or just the inside of the coat or what, but I like the design, especially on the coat. So it looks like there's maybe some like fur design there on the inside as well, so that's pretty cool. Has the big question mark with like the Zodiac style question mark logo design there, like patch on his chest, some black pants and black like army style boots or whatever, which his feet are really loose, so that's one thing we have to worry about this. But some black gloves, and then of course his face covering. So he has this face mask that I've heard is like a real like army thing. I don't know what they're for, but then he has his glasses on over the top because he's like a nerdy style guy, so he has the glasses, but the nice clear rim glasses. But I like the face mask just completely covering. And then if you see, instead of like hair and stuff back here, you just see all this plastic where it looks like there is, you can see like, you know, ear designs and maybe some like brown stuff or what's supposed to be hair in there. But I just like the design with the clear because he wraps his head in plastic, because, you know, he's supposed to be really good at, you know, not leaving traces. You know, the only thing he leaves behind are his riddles. So he wraps his head in plastic so he doesn't lose any hairs or anything to leave behind for DNA and stuff. So very interesting that they went to that detail in the movie, and then that they even included that with the figure here. So that's one thing that really makes me like this figure a lot. But for movements, we have that can twist around. So again, with that mask design, it has like this little flap down in the front, and it moves around in there as well. So that's pretty cool, but it can twist around there. Pretty much can twist it all the way around and then look down that far and up that far. So really good movements in the head overall. The shoulders can come up 90 degrees, has the butterfly joint, rotate all the way around. Bicep twist, the double elbow joint that bends up that far there. So really good. And of course, the wrist twist around and flex on the ball joint. We have nav crunch on here, I'm sure. So crunch forward, crunch back a little bit, and twist side to side. But of course, it's all hidden under the coat there. The legs can come up about that far, so maybe 45 degrees. It's real stiff, so I don't know what's up with that. No real thigh twist either on this figure, but we got a double knee joint that can bend up to the back, so bend up that far. He can kick his own butt. And as I mentioned, his feet are really loose, so you can just kind of see it flop around there barely with any movement, but it can rock back and forth. Of course, twist around in there, and has the toe joint on the end, which I think this one's stuck. The other one does move at least, but yeah, this one's stuck for some reason. But thankfully, with his feet design, he's not too hard to stand up, but just with the looseness, we have to be careful with it because he'll fall down easily. And for accessories, of course, comes with the base plate. We'll pop him on again just to help keep him secure. And for his accessory, he comes with the carpet tucker. So this is a tool used for like putting down carpets and stuff, and getting it like tucked under into like the corners, I believe, under like baseboards and stuff like that. But it looks like the big, just like spatula type thing, or like a putty knife or something, just a big giant version. But I know it's part of the movie for like Batman to use to like pull up the carpet, and there's a map under the carpet and stuff like that. Like I said, I know what happens in the movie, just have not seen it. But that's pretty cool. He comes with it since it does tie into that. But like when we first saw this, like, why the heck does he come with a carpet tool and stuff? It like makes no sense. But let's go and put this into his hand. So there, I got it in his hand. So it looks pretty cool there. But then we have his card. So there's again a picture of him with the duct tape. Again, they add the additional accessories, which we thought we'd get duct tape with a figure. I think like the 12-inch figure came with a roll of duct tape for him, but not this figure. But it's the Riddler, of course, Edward Ashton. And it says the Riddler quickly established himself as Gotham's deadliest threat yet. The enigmatic masked killer has devised a sinister series of puzzles and torturous devices to entrap Gotham's elite and publicly unmask the city's darkest truths. So again, another explanation there of him from the movie that fits along with what I've heard of him and stuff. So very nice looking figure overall, just in general. Like I said, for the Riddler, not good, but just for a figure in general, I think it looks pretty good. And, you know, not too many movements inhibited, you know, some loose feet, but then his midsection covered and stuff, but still could do all the movements. So not a bad figure at all. Well, there's our wave of the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse, the Batman movie wave. So I think all these figures are pretty cool, like especially with their looks. I think they carry them off pretty well. Like I said, to me, the biggest issue is Catwoman, just because I don't like her look in general for the figure. But the other three do look a lot like they do in the movie. So I think they all look really cool. They carried off the looks of these figures really good. I just wish the figures themselves were better. But let me know what you thought of these figures down in the comments. And if you enjoyed my review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.